gotten a brief, having perused the responses from the county. So your first issue was 3 motor vehicles without logbooks. Do you now have the logbooks? Because this is a very straightforward matter.
Yeah, we have logbooks and the issue has already been addressed.
And in your view as an auditor, this is a matter that has been addressed?
Yes.
I know there could be many questions why they were not produced during the time of audit and all that, but I think we have got Section 62 of the Public Audit Act, which we will be making recommendations on. But because there are much more substantive issues in this report, I think since during that brief, the Auditor General has told us the matters addressed, maybe let's tick them, and then we can deal with the global issue on why documents were not provided during the time of audit. So the logbooks have been provided. Unsupported expenditure on Kindu Bay Showground Wall.
Thank you, Chair. The payment at voucher has already been provided, and the issue has also been addressed.
So you had requested for a payment voucher, which was not present at the time of audit, but it has been subsequently produced.
Yes.
In terms of verification, in terms of dating of the payment voucher, what
Thank you, Chair. The payment at voucher has already been provided, and
that's the
issue has also
that
been
payment
addressed.
voucher.
Chair, we confirm that the
So you had
is authentic, and we have also confirmed in terms of the approvals that has already been done, and there is an appendix for that.
okay. Unsupported expenditure on fuel usage.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. This has also been addressed. There is a Department of Fuel register that has already been provided and detailed, and that again, there is an Appendix 3A which supported that.
But when you say that instructions were given verbally, how is that corrected? How has the county corrected that? Are they correcting going forward, or just?
And at this point, I think, Chair, it is good to know why the documents, if they were there, on the expenditure of fuel, why they were not produced during the time of audit. Then we can deal globally with that justification, because the law requires justification.
Okay, since we've been fairly efficient and we've already ticked off about 2 or 3 issues, maybe let's put this to the test. We ask the Auditor General to read his finding, and then the county government to respond, and then we just see whether the measures put in place address the concern therein. Auditor, please read your finding there.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. 2.1, unsupported expenditure on the fuel usage. Included in this balance of Kenya shilling 43,461,651 incurred on fuel, oil, and lubricants. However, review of the fuel management controls and the procedure revealed that the county executive did not issue detailed orders for the purpose of authorizing and managing the drawing of the fuel at the petrol station. The instruction to draw the fuel were given verbally with no record being maintained for comparison between the supplier invoice and the amount fuel actually drawn. In the circumstances, the accuracy and the completeness and the validity of the expenditure of Kenya shilling 43,461,651 on fuel, oil, lubricant could not be confirmed.
Governor, you may read your response.
Management wishes to state that the expenditure of Kenya shillings 43,461,651 on fuel, oil and lubricants were fully supported by all requisite approvals in accordance with the PFM County Government's Regulations 2015. The approvals included authorization by designated officers and approved detailed orders supported by work tickets and supplier receipts, all of which were duly recorded in the fuel registers. An extract of fuel register and sample detailed orders have been availed for audit verification. Appendix 3A, Departmental Fuel Register extracts, detailed orders, work tickets, and fuel receipts. And 3B is administrative action, which is memo on fuel management and warning letter for failure to submit documents. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, Auditor, since you are our eye on the ground, you said that the county did not issue detailed orders for the purpose of authorizing and managing the drawing of fuel at the petrol station. Now you're telling us it is now resolved. Which appendix resolves it?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. If you look at the Department of Fuel Register and the detailed orders, which also has now the approvals, you see at the point of the audit, we requested this information and it has not been availed. So for us, of course, the vehicle has to draw the fuels. So that support of that documentation is missing. But look at that Appendix 3A, where there's a Department of Fuel Registers and detailed orders. That's already clarified, and also the work tickets has given some assurance.
Chair, we can see the separate 3A.
Document Appendix 1, 24C. Now, I just wanted to follow up on the audit. You said they produced a sample of a card for withdrawing the fuel. Did you say that? Because what is on 3A, it's only the internal memo.
Through the chair.
I have it here.
3A.
Yeah, what I can see is only the internal memo signed by Solomon Obiero. Now, if I may follow up, Governor, apart from the internal memo, you have something like a kind of card for each vehicle, because that could be assisting you to control the usage of fuel, to go to the petrol station to fuel your vehicle. Do you have anything like that? Thank you, Chairman.
Yeah, just a minute, Governor. Senator Sifuna.
Maybe she can take both together. Governor, from your response, you're basically telling us that county government vehicles are fueled on a phone call, or how is it done? Just explain to us. Because you're saying, the auditor is saying the instructions to draw fuel were given verbally. And I heard you saying that there were designated people who make those phone calls or who have to go physically to those petrol stations and essentially say, Jaza hii 200, or something like that. So just clarify for me what the process is there, and then how we can be able to know that these people are authorized to give that.
Senator Chirake.
Chair, I've seen a number of being issued by, I think, us petrol station. So the governor should give us, because I've seen a number are on us petrol station, the pre-qualification process, or how many companies are supposed to supply fuel. And Senator Nairobi has said whether there is a specific issuance of card. And Chair, with your indulgence, on the previous question on Kendube, I have seen in the response of the governor, he has only accounted for 10 million against 21 million. So I'm requesting to your indulgence, if we dispense of this matter, she can go back, because from her response, and like what, she can only account for 10 million against 21 million for the Kendube ward. So I wanted you to note so that we can go back. Thank you. I yield back, Chair.
Just for order, Chair, in 3A, I'm not able to see the separate file.
Blank,
Maybe
actually.
the governor can point us to that separate file. Oh, separate. Oh, that is the one. Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, Governor, you may. So sorry, Senator Wambua.
So, Chair, mine would just be maybe a simple one on the invoices. Governor, the invoices that I'm seeing from Appendix 3A, all of them, actually I think without exception, are from a single service provider or contractor or petrol station. I don't know, maybe this is the only one that supplies fuel to vehicles in the county government of Homa Bay. You just explained that, that's fine.
Okay, it would be useful, even as you respond, to also take us through, just explain what Appendix 3A means, because I'm seeing some documents that are either ineligible or blank. But you can respond to the earlier questions raised by the senators.
Thank you, Chair. What we are providing in Appendix 3A in response to the auditor's question on how the fuel process happens is we are providing the extracts of departmental fuel register extracts, detailed orders, which is what you use to go and fuel, not via a phone call, work ticket, which the drivers provide, and fuel receipts. So what we have provided here is evidence that there is a process, and we've provided them department by department. Not all of them, but extracts of them, that there is a process that each department has for purposes of acquiring fuel. On the issue of the invoices, yes, there is invoices from the Has Petroleum, there are invoices from Zamzam petrol station, there are invoices from Shell. These are the petrol stations that are predominantly in Homa Bay. So it is not a single petrol station. CC Finance, if you have anything to add.
Yeah, and as CC Finance response, you will probably want to even take a sample, because I can see the first placeholder here is education, and then just help us understand what those pages with regards to education, what you're trying to say, and how it confirms the process. CC.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, with respect to education, on the first page, we have the voucher number, the account details, the item description, that is the product that we are consuming from the particular petrol station. Chair, it indicates the payee, which is the person giving us the product, and the payment date and amount. And that is the Department of Education. Chair, the second page, just under the Department of Education, we have a payment voucher, which has now been drawn in favor of Has Petroleum, who have been given us a supply of fuel, oil, and lubricants.
CC, the concern was initiation.
Yes.
The concern was initiation. So PV comes at the end.
Thank
The
you.
receipts come at the end. Can you demonstrate that the initiation was not verbal, as the auditor says?
Thank you, Chair. If we go to still under education, the first detail order in favor of Has Petroleum, this detail order is drawn from the department, and the person that is going to draw fuel needs to go.
Which is a detailed order? It's on which?
Chair, after the payment voucher,
How many pages after?
payment voucher are 2 pages, so the third page.
Okay, so you can explain that.
So the document that authorizes one to draw fuel from the petrol station is a detail order. This detail order is developed from the department, and it's duly approved to enable one to go, to enable a driver to go draw fuel from the petrol station.
Help me understand, CEC, because I can see that detail order you're speaking of. Is it the number 3117268?
Yes, indeed.
How do I know which vehicle is going to be fueled?
Chair, the vehicle that is going to fuel
From that document of yours?
first, the LPO number that is referenced,
Yes.
43 81 567, will be indicating, when we go to that, we'll be indicating a particular vehicle. But also on the invoice, the vehicle that has fueled, the vehicle registration number
We
is.
are at initiation.
Yes, we are still
We
at
just
initi-
want to understand the process.
Yeah.
This detail order, how do I know it is for 43 CG036A?
Chair, it is supposed to be on, it is on the detail order actually, but where the stamp is for the Department of Education, you can see a 43 somewhere. Unfortunately, it is not very clear, but that 43 is espoused with the invoice down here, 43 CG 036A. Yes.
Is there any other detailed order which is clearer, so that we are not hypothesizing that it's supposed to be where the stamp is?
In fact, you have put the stamp on all those invoices, you have put the stamp where we're supposed to see the vehicle number. Is it a coincidence?
Maybe we can check the second one.
And even, Chair, the way the payment voucher has been written, it's less because even on the wards they have just written 200. I don't know, but they only in numbers they have written 200,000, but in writing is 200. We don't know whether it's 200,000 or 200 in payment. So even if you look at the payment voucher CC, and you are the ones who write, this is laziness. The one on after the third, after even the first one, in your separate document. Right. 200.
Okay. Is there any order that you can refer to that?
Yes, Chair.
Can you use this one to explain to me? 3311728. Voucher, I think is the last detail order. Before blue economy. Before blue economy. So that we understand the process.
Thank you, Honorable Senator. Thank you, Chair. So 43 CG 253A is on the detail order. Detail order number 3117278. The vehicle is drawing diesel. The date that the vehicle has gone to draw, the name of the vendor, and the amount of fuel that is drawn in liters. After that detailed order, we have an invoice that the vendor gives, which will go to the file.
What's the amount on the invoice?
70 liters.
The
Amount of money.
This is supposed to be 11,000.
But it says
13,288.
But it is wrapped there, 11,627, even it says 700 liters.
70.
Sorry,
But
Chair.
from the invoice.
Thank you, Chair, Honorable Senator. These things are handwritten.
You see, can you breathe in and out so that you can answer properly? You are confusing us.
Thank you, Honorable Senator. The 13,288 is the value of the fuel drawn for 70 liters at a cost of 166.
Chair, with your permission, can I give you my copy? Because I think maybe you have a clearer copy for us to follow what you're saying. Because on the face of that invoice, and Governor, you can just look at it. There's a problem with that invoice. Where are you reading? Because mine actually, from where I sit, it says 700 liters. It has been, what is it called? Amended. The total amount there, I can't even make out what this figure is, Chair. The only figure that is clear here is 13,288 in the middle of the invoice. But at the bottom there it says total, CC. Do you have a better copy than mine?
Honorable Chair and Senator, we have, I think, the same copy, I believe. And the fuel drawn from the detail order is 70 liters. This invoice could have not been 700 because from the detail order it is indicated 70 liters. So the service provider can only give us a maximum.
So, Chair.
CC, don't defend the indefensible. There's a problem with this invoice, and the more you try to explain it, the more questions you're going to get. There's obviously a problem here. So
Let us stick to your 70 liters, CC. Yeah. The unit cost is what? From your record, it's 166.1. Is it?
6.1 times.
Zero.
Yes.
Read the unit cost for me.
The unit cost is 166.1.
Now multiply 166.1 by 70. What do you get?
We get, that will give us 166.1
Times 70.
70.
What do you get?
166.
Just read. I mean, what you get is what you get, you know. 166.1 times 70.
11,000. 166.1 times 70. 11,627.
What is your figure in the invoice?
13,288.
What do you get the variance?
Chair, what I can see from the face of this invoice, there is a rubbing there, so it's 11,627 on the end, but then 13,288 in the middle. So there is obviously a discrepancy between what is at the end column and in the middle of the invoice. So I think there is a discrepancy on that invoice. But Chair, coming back to the process, which was the question, and I see that discrepancy between the two figures, and I think the vendor who gave the invoice made that error, and it was attached here right from the vendor without them correcting it. But in terms of the process of getting fuel and in terms of coming back to what the auditor had raised, the fuel is not collected by phone call. It is collected through a detailed order that is given to the vendor by the department. The detailed order, I think earlier what Senator Sifuna had asked, what on that detailed order shows the car that is going to collect the fuel. I think the detailed order has the space for the number plate of the car and the liters and the department that is collecting the fuel. Thank you, Chair, and we have noted that error in the invoice.
Senator Dulo.
Governor, that attached from us, even towards the end of the documents, or rather the invoices to trade, they're not even very clear, you see? So if your document is very clear and transparent, the invoice should be also very clear, because they are not clear, those invoices. Again, most of the listing that is done for the vehicles and the ones that are drawn, they are handwritten. We know very well anything handwritten can be changed anytime. So I think you need to look into this and see how you can put proper control mechanisms in place that can assist you in drawing fuel, or also accounting for fuel consumption within the county. I thank you, Chair.
Chair, for me, I think I still need to hear from the Auditor General, because you are the one who has raised this query. Where did you experience these orders that were being made verbally? Number two, Governor, this Appendix 3A is supposed to explain to us. For instance, I've seen what your team has tried to do, is that there's a detailed order that is supposed to correspond with an invoice. Yeah, but it is very, very confusing, Governor. This one should actually raise the alarm with you that your team is trying to be clever with us. And you see, we get very upset when we see that. If it is possible, CEC, I just want to demonstrate one final thing. That there is a detailed order number 3117283. I don't know if you can find it. And unfortunately, this time round, Governor, you did not paginate your document, so we have to find it slowly. 3117283. Are we together? Yeah. First of all, Governor, just look at that detailed order. Just look at it the way it looks. First, you notice the famous stamp is not on this one. We were told a story of a stamp that was covering up the number of the vehicle. So if you look at the quantity there, what figure is that? I can see the word petrol, CEC. What is the figure on that detail order? The amount of fuel that is going to be sourced. Can you see it from your copy? That's a 5. Yeah. Well, I can make it out on mine. What is the registration number of that vehicle?
43 CG 247A.
Where is that 4 and 7 coming from? Because my copy doesn't have any of that.
Thank you, Honorable Senator. I think
you are reading the invoice. You're not reading the order.
We have 43 CG 247, except at the time of probably making a copy for this file, the 7 is missing, but it seems cut. It's evidently that it is cut out of just a photocopy place error. My apologies.
Okay, so whose signature is that? Because all the others have been seeing, at least there is a reason, there's somebody who's being quoted there, HB Education or something like that. Whose signature is that one on 31172883?
This is the signature of the person from the Department of Education authorized to draw, to approve fuel withdrawal.
How many do you have in that department? How many people are authorized to do this document?
I think we have a maximum of 2 because 1 can be out of office per department.
On this 3117283, who is the person who signed? Can you tell?
I would love to consult my colleague from the Department of Education.
Finally, what is the date on that 3117283?
22nd of May, 2025.
Where is the 5? Again, it was left out.
No, it's not left out, Senator, but I think it's just to do with the copies that were made, being that the detail order document, the color is yellow. When you make many copies, such errors are bound to occur when you make many copies.
Okay, we are taking a lot of time on this matter. It's 42 million out of almost 13 billion expenditure for this year. And when you look at the time, because Governor, what was the reason for attaching the internal memo and the letter by the CEC dated 2nd of February 2026? The reason why you're having a problem with the senators is your response to indicate that everything is okay. They are struggling to show you where the gaps are. And I can see your officers did a memo recommending or saying administrative action shall be taken and reminding all officers of the procedures. If you would have confined yourself to the measures you are taking to improve the process, that would have been good enough. But if the position is that the process is perfect, then you're going to get a lot of queries on the substance before us. So, if it's a perfect exercise, then I'll allow my senators to ask questions. But if it's work in progress and that is your submission, then we can keep some things in view. But let me hear from Senator Cherargei first.
No, Chair, looking at even blue economy, the entire invoices that has been provided by one of the petrol stations, I think, is not readable. So, and then looking at the discrepancy, Governor, of this amount, it might look small. But how many Kenyans can get 2,000 per day? So it is, Chair, it looks like this thing was manufactured, unless proven otherwise. And in fact, I don't know who is Robert Nyasuna. This Robert Nyasuna, I thought it's somebody who works for the county. And Governor, they must do due diligence, because these are very critical. So, Governor, maybe you would consider striking out these invoices which are not readable until you get, so that it can form basis of answering this question.
Okay, members, to ensure that we are not bogged down as in an audit, because the facts as presented indicate there's a problem.
Yeah,
unless the governor disputes.
Just finally for me, I am not convinced when the CEC says there is only 2 people designated. Because just from the sample of those same documents, if you just look at the signatures from 311, 72, 83 to 82 to 78, those are at least 3 distinct signatures, CEC. So my expectation, Governor, would be to see a document of designation saying in this department, Sifuna is authorized to issue this, detailed orders so that we can be able to compare. From my reading here, there is more than one person signing these documents. It's creating a problem, Chair.
Okay, Governor.
Chairman, I wanted to concur with you that the reason why we appended the memos and the administrative action is because of continuous improvement of the process, including the testing of the card system or any other system that can do. What we wanted to demonstrate by these documents was that there is a process that is not necessarily verbal. There is a detailed order and an invoicing process, but it is not a perfect process. It is a work in progress, and that is why the CEC has written a memo reminding the officers that they must adhere to the strict process in the management of fuel.
So members, this is a matter that, because the in-year audit, I think, is beginning, Auditor General, you must also be more rigorous, because you had advised us earlier that the matter is resolved, but upon testing, you find that there are variances. This is a matter that you must remain open, and you must adequately look at in the next cycle of audits. Senator Muruma.
Chair, maybe because the auditor has marked it as addressed, and we need to agree with him to resolve it, because of the part of justification why the documents were not given during the time of audit. Maybe the CEC, I think, who is the person supposed to give the documents, can in 1 or 2 sentences tell us where the documents were, if they are there, why they're not given, and then
okay, I think that warrants a very brief answer. I'm very, very conscious of the time.
Thank you, Senator. Appendix 3B. Appendix 3B. We've taken administrative action on the officers that didn't avail the documents to the auditor on time.
Yeah.
Yes, 3B, administrative action. So it's 3B. 3B.
The question asked is different from the answer you are giving, because the senators asked where were the documents at the time of audit and why were they not produced, because administrative action is taken at the tail end. But since we have agreed that this is a matter that remains open, it's not resolved as indicated by the Auditor General, we'll keep the matter in view and ask the Auditor General to do a more thorough analysis. Then again, Governor, internally, you have seen some of the weaknesses in terms of record keeping, and it's something that you need to go back and have a conversation with your team on to ensure that it's a much more foolproof exercise. Now, members, I'd ask that we move on to the next issue. There's an issue of payment of electricity bills.
Chair, with your indulgence,
Senator Chirake.
I know the OAG had said 21.27 million had been accounted for the expenditure of Kendu Bay Showground Wall. But looking at the management response, the governor says that she can only account for 10.4 million. So my question is, although the governor indicates that the program, the construction is ongoing, then what is the fate of the other 10 million? Because looking at the management response, if the governor can clarify that, or is it that the OAG should have clarified on 10.4 million instead of 21.2 million in the payment of Kendu Bay Showground Wall?
Okay, this is straightforward. Governor, the amount queried was 21 million. In your response, you have talked of 10.4 million. What happens to the remaining 11 million?
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, the contract sum was 21,217,151. The project is ongoing, and the amount that has been paid is 10,411,561. That is what we indicated in the response, and the project is still ongoing.
Auditor General, when you say 21 million was spent, does that mean that there was evidence of actual payments of 21 million?
No, sure, that was the contract sum amount. If you look in terms of the disclosures, the 21,217,000 was the contract sum for the Kindube showground.
Yeah,
But when we requested for the detail to support
But auditor, language is important. When you say spent, it denotes payments. It denotes payments. I mean, you would have said 21 million contract sum. So you can confirm that 21 million was a contract sum, not an actual expenditure.
No.
So the actual expenditure is 10 million.
10 million, yes.
And the project is still ongoing.
Yes, still in progress.
Governor, the project is still ongoing?
Yes, Chairman, it's ongoing. We have put in the pictures, Chairman, of the progress on the project.
So then, to avoid belaboring the point, we can keep it in view. We keep it in view. It remains unresolved. I want us to skip one or two matters, and we'll come back to them if time allows. And I'll perhaps give guidance that we jump to the section on lawfulness and effectiveness in the use of public resource, where we have the issues to do with the FIF, pending bills, and human resource. And then we'll come back to a few unresolved prior year matters, which form part of this report under Appendix 1. Honourable members, we go to the section on lawfulness and effectiveness and deal with the non-compliance with Facility Improvement Financing Act of 2023. Auditor General, you may read your findings.
Yeah, thank you, Chair.
Yeah, proceed.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Non-compliant with the Facility Improvement Financing Act 2023. The review of the revenue records obtained from the Level 4 and Level 5 health facilities in Homa Bay County revealed that 24 health facilities collected a total of 1,616,696,509 toward the health facility improvements. Out of this amount, a total of Kenya shilling 915,941,705 was transferred to the special purpose account at the health department. However, the special purpose account reimbursed a total of Kenya shilling 607,007,504 to the health facility, resulting to a deficit of Kenya shilling 228,934,220. This was contrary to Section 5.1 of the Facility Improvement Financing Act 2023, which requires that all monies raised or received on the behalf of the public health facilities be retained in the hospital facilities improvement financing account. In addition, failure to reimburse the total amount transferred by the facility negatively impacted on the service delivery by the health facilities. In the circumstances, the management of the county executive was in breach of the law. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, you may respond.
Chair, just on a point of order, if you allow, I have seen the pictures of Kendu Bay Showground. The wall looks complete except the gates. But looking at the amount that is being used for walling vis-a-vis the land, it doesn't tally, because if I look at the land, it might come to around 3 to 5 million. Why would you use, and it looks desolate, why would you use that amount?
Let's do this. Let's deal with this FIF, and then the governor responds, then we can come back to the showground.
Okay.
Yeah. Governor, you may proceed.
Thank you, Chairman. Management wishes to clarify that under the Homa Bay County Facility Improvement Fund, Facility Improvement Financing Act 2023, the county government is required to retain 20% of collections from Level 4 and Level 5 health facilities. Consequently, out of the 915,941,725 collected and transferred to the FIF special account by the hospitals, 183,188,345 was lawfully retained and utilized within the healthcare sector to fund the following programs: supervision of public health facilities, supporting Level 2 and Level 3 hospitals, and supply of commodities to hospitals, while the balance of 687,007,504 was reimbursed to the facilities during the financial year. As at June 2025, 45,745,875 remained unreimbursed and formed part of the cash and cash equivalents balance of 76,144,115 disclosed in the special purpose account bank statement. However, the funds were later reimbursed to facilities in July 2025 as per the schedule attached in the Appendix 7B. Management confirms that the funds were retained, managed and accounted for in accordance with the relevant legal framework and fully disclosed in the financial statements. We have Appendices 7A, extract copy of the County FIF Act of 2023, 7B, Special Purpose Account Bank Certificate as at 30th June 2025, and disbursement schedules. 7C, extract of bank statements showing reimbursement of 45,745,875. And 7D, Chair, is Homa Bay County Amendment Bill 2026, which is the proposed bill so that the county bill conforms with the national FIF bill.
Auditor General, you cited violation of the law. What is the position?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Here the issue is about the national law, the FIF Act 2023, which requires all the funds to be retained at the facility.
Yes, that is what you've said. So I've asked you, you have listened to the response from the county government. What is your advice on the basis of that response? What is your opinion on the basis of that response?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. There is, of course, we may need to be guided, but if there is a conflicting between the county government laws and the national government laws, then the national government laws. So in that scenario, then they need to amend their finance, the act at the Homa Bay so that it can be aligned to the national. And I've seen some counties already has taken some initiative in terms of amending.
Yeah, I think, Auditor, you need just to be forthright and tell the county that you have breached the law. Don't go around. They have breached the law, and that's the situation. Honourable members, any follow-up question on this? Senator Morgan?
Just to understand where governors are coming from, what is the rationale behind retaining the 20%?
Governor?
Chairman, when we did the facilities infrastructure or facility improvement financing bill for the counties, there was a standard law that was done by the counties and circulated, which we used, which retained for purposes, 1, of supervision, 2, of support for lower level facilities within the jurisdiction or catchment of the level 4 facilities. That was the rationale for the retention, which was countrywide. It was a law done by, it was a template given to all counties, which we just domesticated in Homa Bay as well.
I'm raising this issue because some of these issues, especially on health, we can have a conversation, COG, senators. If it makes logic that you need to retain the 20%, we can amend the national law.
And then just help us understand
when we
what those pages.
We understand what is beneficial to the people we all serve. That's why I was asking. I need to understand the rationale behind the retention. So you may consider also engaging us at because we can amend the national law if retaining 20% will improve provision of health to our people.
The one on
Remember, Honourable Senator, we passed this law when we were sitting in Turkana at Senate Machinani. And the intent of this was to ensure that money is collected from a facility, that money is plowed back.
253A
Remember, the county still has
on the detailed
other
order.
budgets, other revenues, or
Detailed
equitable
order
share
number
that comes
311.
that can do all those other functions. But in the hierarchy of laws, national law is superior to county law. And I think
The unit
if they
cost
need
is
to have that conversation,
166.
these are the things that the Senate can be engaged in. But
What I can see from the face of this invoice,
How are you handling?
there is a rubbing there, so it's
financial year?
Is
526.
Chair, in addition, so that Governor, I'm at note number 14A on detailed analysis of cash and cash equivalents.
detailed order is 70 liters.
The different bank accounts that have been opened for various facilities. That's page 28, 29
This is
on the certificate. which are these special purpose accounts?
So 43 CG 253A.
Number one,
Use this one to explain.
the ones who, finally,
Which
before you
It's
open a
not very
special
clear.
purpose account, your CCM finance tells you there is a process. So where was the justification to open special purpose account?
Detail order you're speaking of.
pay.
Is it the detail order?
And
From the petrol station.
maybe I have a different view of what my brother, senior counsel, Senator
From the petrol
Wanga
station.
said. I thought the reason we wanted money to be
Help me
brought
understand,
back is
CEC.
for
Because I can see that
efficiency
detail
of
order you're
service
speaking
delivered
of. Is
at
it
the
the
facility.
number
So
311
if
detail
counties
order you're
go
speaking
back
of?
and take
Because I
again,
can see that.
and you know the major
help me
problem was
understand
that
that.
you are taking money to county
Help
sessions,
me understand,
which is by the
CEC.
time we do
Because I
requisition
can
to
see
get
that
fuel for
Facilities
ambulance or drugs,
during the
Kenyans
of
might have
2023.
died. So
In
what
addition,
was the
failure
rationale? And I'll be hesitant.
7,504,
because it's a
116 million.
I thought so that
Six-
you can
Yeah,
get
thank you,
money
Chair.
to fuel and get it is
honourable
it
members,
is an emergency service.
we
So
go
I really
to
want to understand
the section on
where
lawfulness
the
and
governor is coming from, because the wisdom of FIF is to have resources flowed back to improve efficiency and service delivery at the lowest level of the health, at that lowest level. So, Chair, those will be my 3 follow-up
Okay.
questions.
Let's allow Senator Lelegwe to go on record and then Senator Wambua. I want us to skip one. Then,
Progress on the project.
so then to avoid give.
Senator for Samburu, member of this committee.
You're welcome, Senator. Senator Wambua.
When it's ongoing, we have
Senator Gatai. So then to avoid belaboring the point, we can keep it in
Chair,
view.
my name is Senator Mwenda
We
Gataya.
keep it in view. It remains unresolved. You're welcome. Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Chair. I'm happy you are saying, and my colleagues are saying that there are conversations that can happen between the county governors and the Senate. And I want to go back to that FIF. Okay, the law is clearly, Governor, the law is, it has been breached as is. The question that I ask myself, and I keep asking this question, because the county governors are the ones who are implementing this, they're the ones who are
Not issue
on the
detailed
ground
orders.
doing these things. If there are difficulties, because I'm seeing a lot of these breaches in FIF,
That's already
a lot of breaches in the wage bills, on painting bills, in almost every county. And the question that I ask myself, Chair, is what is the difficulty in the
County
Council
government
of
vehicles
Governors
to go physically to
initiating
petrol stations and essentially say Jaza in their bill, something like that.
with the
So
Senate
just clarify for me what the
on the
process is
amendment
there.
of the law? I don't take the position
how
that
we can
Senator
be able to
Cheragay is
know that
taking,
these
that we
people are
don't have
authorized
the law.
to
I mean,
do
laws are,
Senator Chirake.
they are,
Chair, I've seen a number of
there's need to do that.
being issued by
What
I
is
think
the
us
difficulty
station.
in
So the governor should give us,
on health matters, FIF?
because I've seen a
Engaging
number around
the Senate
us,
and saying,
petrol
perhaps we
station,
have this difficulty.
the
with
pre-qualification
FIF.
process, or how
Why can't we
many
amend
companies
the
are
law,
supposed to supply
to suit
fuel.
counties
And
across the board?
Senator
Chair, that would
Nairobi
be my
has
comment
said
on the
whether
FIF.
there is a specific issuance of card. And Chair,
on,
with your
Senator
indulgence,
Wambua's, point,
on the
I
previous question on
um,
Kendube, I've seen in the
reason
response
for
of the governor,
the reason
he has only accounted for
that
10 million against 21 million. So I'm
national law
requesting to your indulgence,
is
if we dispense
appears to
of
be
this
breached is
matter,
because
she
of
can
the
go back,
conflict
because
between
from
the
her
national law
response, and like
and
what,
the county law.
she
and-
can only
and the
account
laws
for
that
10
were
million
already
against 21
legislated by
companies.
counties.
That
And
The English
this
is
was,
not, I think,
as
is
I
not
mentioned
exception.
earlier, a standard law that all counties legislated.
Appendix
And
C,
no sooner had we finished legislating, there
All
was
of
a
them.
new process. And when
So
we
I think
input
without
into the new
exception.
process, some of these
From a
views were not accommodated,
Service
and
provider,
the
or
national law was
contractor
then
or
passed.
petrol station.
But in recognition that the national law supersedes
I don't know, maybe
the county
this
laws,
one
we are
that
amending
supplies fuel
our own
vehicles
county laws to conform
in the county
with
government
with the national law
of Mabel. You just
for the
explained
moment.
that, that's fine.
There was always the question, the FIF, the special
I
purpose
don't know,
account
maybe
that
this-
Senator Cheragay
Okay.
mentioned.
It
Of course,
would be
each
useful,
facility has
because I'm seeing some.
an account, their own account, which they run on. Their own.
Thank you, Chair.
There was an earlier question of
What we are
expenditure
providing
at source,
detailed order that there is
which
a process
facilities receive money and they
On the
spend without any level of
predominantly.
control.
You probably
So
want
you will
to
find that a facility has
even
received
take
money
that confirms the process.
rather than buy medicine.
the account details.
They have maybe
payment
prioritized
date
building
and the measure,
a gate.
which
And that is why
go
there was a special
to
purpose account
many pages are-
created
the
so that
document
when money
that-
is sent
and
to the
it's
facility
understand,
account,
see,
it
to
is sent with
fuel,
an AIE.
From that
And
document.
we have formed
First,
an AIE
the LPO
committee
number that
has
is
the
referenced,
CC for health, the chief officer for health, and the facility in charge,
uh,
so that
the
they
vehicle
discuss
that is going to
and
fuel,
agree on what are the
from that
priorities.
document,
And for
first
example,
we'll
they've
be
said
indicating a
priority
particular
number one
vehicle.
is you must buy
Chair,
pharmaceuticals
understand,
and
CEC.
The ones
non-pharmaceuticals
who write,
before you are allowed to invest in firewood or
but
anything
it says the
else at
bonanza
the facility
property.
level. So it is
There's a problem with the
exercising
process,
some level of
yeah.
Understand,
control,
CEC.
but ensuring
from
that
the
the
petrol
facilities have
statement
their
voucher 2 page that is going to
resources,
draw fuel,
As the auditor
to
says.
expend.
having
So,
given us
Chairman, on this
a
particular
supply
FIF,
of
we are
education.
concluding on
Chair,
amending the law. We have
petrol station.
attached
Chair,
the revised law for the
CC.
county so that we can align it with the national law,
petrol
so
station.
that we can proceed, so that the
CC
breach
Finance, if you
is
have
not
anything to add.
noted. But all of
Yeah,
this
and
is
as
for
CC Finance
purposes of service
response, you
delivery.
probably
There is
want to
nothing, there is no
even
money
take a
from
sample.
health that is not spent
because I
on
can
health.
see the first placeholder here is education.
That alignment, will it happen for the counties? I don't know, maybe the Homa Bay.
This is what Homa Bay is doing. And the auditor mentioned, that many of the other counties are also working on their own laws to align it with the national law.
Where there is
Maybe
conflict between national and county legislation, national legislation is the one that applies.
And,
Now,
Senate,
before we get lost in the policy conversation, the numbers are not tying. Okay, it would be useful. You're saying the county
Even as
collected
a response
1.6
to-
billion
Providing in Appendix
towards
3A,
health facilities improvement.
fuel process happens
And
not
out of
via
this,
phone call.
915 million was transferred to special
They are
purpose account.
communal, in
Let's tie the numbers.
we
Because
have
the policy issues, I think, are quite
in favor.
The county does not refer to 1.6. The county says the collected
Is going to be
915.
fueled.
So which is which? For us to be
But
sure
311.7,
that even with that regularity
is it the
legislation,
number
the numbers are
311.7
flowing as
from
they
the
ought
petrol
to be.
station.
You have said the county collected
Developed,
1.6 billion from 24 health facilities.
And
Is that the position?
number 311.7.268?
Governor, is that the position?
yes,
That collected
How do I know
1.6
which
billion
vehicle is going to be
from
fueled?
24 health facilities?
Chair, the vehicle that is going to fuel,
From that document of yours.
first, the LPO number that is
Because
referenced,
if collected 1.6 billion,
43,
then
80,
what
81,
would have been shared
567
between this 20% and the rest of the facilities,
will
the base
be
should be 1.6 billion.
indicating, when we go to
Not
that, we'll
900
be indicating a particular vehicle. But also on the invoice, the vehicle
So
that has
let's make sure
fuel,
the numbers flow.
the vehicle registration number
We
is,
are at
Was the
initiation.
collection 1.6
yes,
billion?
we are still
We
at
just want to understand.
My
in that-
understanding
yes,
is,
How do I
and the
know,
auditor can
Yes,
how do I know
correct if
which
this
vehicle
not
is going to be
the
fueled?
understanding is 1.6 billion was the
to
claims made
43,
by the facilities.
Chair,
Auditor, please
the
clarify
vehicle
that because
that
you have said
157,
collected, and collected means money in the account.
Maybe Chair, just to
will
clarify
be,
this, is that the facilities collected 1.6 billion. But out of this, they transfer 915 to the
So,
special purpose
just
account.
leave it there. So you confirm as the auditor that the facilities collected
Yeah.
1.6 billion.
Yes.
Okay?
indicating on the invoice,
Collected. You know, we're
Collected
talking about
43
24
CGs. I
facilities.
just want to understand the
So
process.
what was
At
supposed
initiation.
to, even with this
Yes,
at initiation,
yes,
problematic
we are still
law,
We
at
just want to understand.
what should have gone
will
back to
be,
facilities
go to that,
would have
will
been
be indicated
80%
also
of 1.6
that has fuel, registration number
We
is,
are at,
which is
Yes.
900.
just want to understand the process.
But
Yeah.
the governor's
This detailed
response
order, I
indicates
just want
that
to understand
it
the
was
process.
915
Yeah.
collected.
This detailed order, how do I know it is for
There's a mismatch
43
there.
CG
Not factor
031?
utility.
Chair, if your math is,
Chair,
if your math is right,
it is supposed to be, on, it is on the detail.
80% of 1.6, then they actually collected 1.6.
Yeah, but then the gap between 1.6,
950. And then 687.
That's over 700 million shillings. That can't be 80%, Chair.
there's a mix, the
Yeah.
numbers are not adding up.
So the,
Let's agree on the numbers.
Maybe Chair, just I can clarify.
Yes.
When we audit these facilities, of course, I said 24 facilities collected 1.6. Out of this 1.6, because of the timing difference, they transferred 915 to the special purpose account. So ideally, the entity need to transfer 900 again from the special purpose account to the entities, but they retain the 20% of and above. So you realize what has been transferred is 687 from the special purpose account instead of 915. So the difference is 228. They could have ought to retain 183 million if they use that law. So the difference between 183 and 228 is 45 million, which audit queried again. But that 45 million again was transferred later on, and there was an evidence for that support. So there is the total amount that the entity has collected, facilities.
Yes, we are still.
I just want to understand
what is
the process.
1.616?
This detail order, how do I know it
What
is
is that?
for
Is that cash collected?
43 CG 036A?
Chair,
After the third.
So
There's a
Governor,
problem
you
with that.
collected
Point one.
1.6 billion.
Back to the
That's
process.
You know,
Most
the
of
entities
Teams
themselves,
card,
which
it's every-
audit,
Chair,
also audit the
it looks
facilities.
Yes.
yes,
You do the
3B,
collection, that's how
administrative
they
action.
collected.
But
But
You
because of
have
the
a schedule auditor.
Yes, yes, there is a schedule when we do the audits.
yes, so Governor is the collector and the receiver.
The question
Did you receive
who
1.6
asked
billion?
is different from the answer you are giving, because
think
the
what the auditor
senators
is
asked
clarifying
where were the
is what
documents at the
he
time
found
of
at the
audits and why were they not
facilities
produced,
was that they had
because
collected
administrative action is taken at the tail end. But since we have agreed that this is a matter that remains open, it's not resolved as indicated by the Auditor General, we'll keep the matter in view and ask the Auditor General to do a more thorough analysis. Then again, Governor, internally, you have seen some of the weaknesses in terms of record keeping, and it's something that you need to go back and have a conversation with your team on, ensure that it's a much more foolproof exercise.
15.
Now,
but
members,
we
I'd
retained the
ask that we move
20%
on.
as per the law.
Maybe for us
So
to
the
understand,
next
what
issue,
happens to the 700 million between the 1.6 and 915 million?
Now, Chairman, when we look now at the audit of the entities, when we go to the PIC, then we now compare with the facilities, what did you receive and what didn't you send to the SPA account? Because from what the Auditor General has raised, there might be some money that facilities have received, but because of time or whatever difference, they have not transferred it to the SPA account. So we, from this angle of FIF, have
Yes,
no
we are still
I
visibility
just want to
of
understand
it.
the process.
Yeah.
No,
This
the
detail order, how do I know it is
percentage
for
material?
43 CG
CG
036A?
Talk of timing differences, but it's a
Chair,
cap of 700. So
It is supposed to be, it is on the detail order actually,
deduction
but
at
where the
source.
stamp is for the Department of
expenditure
Education,
source without
you can see a
first remitting
43
money to
somewhere.
the relevant
Unfortunately,
funds.
it is not very clear. But
That's 700
43.
million.
One could be, but what the auditor has said that the facilities had received from his point, the money, because I would have imagined that these would be claims they have made and they are yet to receive. But from what he said, it's money they had received, which is, it means that it is money that the facilities themselves had not sent to the special purpose account.
No, I'm asking this question just to understand that process, because I would expect that if it was 1.6 collected and you have audited the financial statements for the facilities, then
But
what would be transferred to the special purpose account cumulatively should be close to the 1.6. It, which is 80%. Which is 80%. I'm struggling to understand why there's that gap.
I thought it should be the entire 1.6.
Yeah.
Then it is transferred.
Then it is sent back.
So that's where auditor should tell us, because a simple understanding means 1.6 should hit the county account.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they return 80%.
80%
Yeah.
back to the facilities.
Yes. So we have not had, have not received that explanation properly from the auditor.
I don't think it's the auditors, it's the entities. It's the entities' explanation.
Because they should agree with the entity that it's 1.6.
Yeah.
Then we do the maths now.
So does it mean 700 million was
the entity or
spent
is it the
at source? If the governor can clarify that, does it mean 700 million was spent at source? Because you have the you have chief officer in charge of health services. They are the accounting officers and departmental heads. So out of this 1.6, and I don't think OAG will go and come up with 1.6 billion without going through the schedule of collections within those 24 facilities.
But
So
Chair,
between 1.6 billion and 915 million, the difference of 700 million, was it spent
Chair,
at source?
Chair,
Okay, Senator
it's the
Moroma.
same auditor who audits those hospitals. He should be able to tell us, was the 700 million spent at source? That difference.
Chairman, that's why I believe the initial explanation should actually come from the OAG on the feasibility of the 1.6 billion Kenya shillings.
Okay, let's allow the OAG to advise us.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. When the facilities collect, so let's say maybe the share has been paid to specific facilities. And based on the arrangement between the special purpose account and the facilities, they are supposed to fund these transfers. So for us, we normally have the cut-off date, which is 30th June. So at the cut-off date of 30th June, you may see the facility has collected. But probably they will have the 5th day of the month for them to transfer the funds. You know, there is what we call a timing difference. So at that point of the cut-off date, we realize the facility has collected 1.6 from their side. But what they have transferred as a cut of that date of that is June is 915, 941 to the special purpose account because they have to transfer funds to the special purpose account. Then later, the account retain 20% and retain. So there is timing difference because if probably we look in the month of July, the fund maybe has even been moved to special purpose account. But because
Can the timing difference be to the tune of 43%? Because that variance is 43% of the total.
700 million.
A timing difference could be a month or a quarter. Governor?
I think I may see where the auditor is coming from because the facilities, they report on accrual. They report on what they have claimed from SHA. That's what they report as their revenue. Not necessarily what SHA has already reimbursed to them at any particular time. So they might be reporting in their books those amounts, but on the basis of the claims they have, because every treatment you make, you file the claim, but the money does not necessarily come back to you in good time. So sometimes we even report, you report revenues on the basis of those claims in the hope that you will receive back the money. And perhaps yes, that is what the report is, because we have tightened a lot the issue of expenditure at source. The facilities bring money to the SPA. But again, the entities, we the PIC detailed reporting from the entities themselves. That's when so today we were responding to the issue of what came to the FIF. Thank you, Chairman.
Senator Moroma?
Yeah, that's why I was asking the auditor if the 1.6 billion actually hit the accounts of the hospitals and you did the total. And if you did so, and 915 was transferred to SPA, then you must be knowing what happened to the other money and how it was expended.
Auditor?
Oh, yeah.
Because you see, the auditors use the language, the facility is collected. And English, on its face, a collection is money that has been received by the facility. So I don't know what else we want the auditor to explain.
Whereas what the governor says makes a lot of sense. Are we okay? Yeah? So, whereas it makes a lot of sense, Chair, you have asked the auditor more than 3 times whether that money, 1.6 billion, was realized by the facilities. And the 3 times he affirmed that the money was realized. So I don't know whether now he wants to change that position or what's going to happen.
Auditor, you remember you're not the one on the spot. It's a county to explain. So I would be quite hesitant to put you on the spot for too long, but just clarify, because even though the English here does not need clarification for anyone who went to school. Auditor, do you stand with your collected, or it's something that you want to vary?
Here we stand with the amount that has been collected at 1.6 because we also audit these 24 health facilities. And based on their collection, you can able to confirm that this is the amount as at that date. But in terms of how the funds are moving from the facility itself to the special purpose account, there's always timing difference. But here the main concern of the audit query is 915 that requires to be fully funded back to the facility.
Yeah, 915, but we have also raised concern about the 700 in between. Because even if it was a timing difference, it cannot be 44%. Because the amounts that have been transferred are just 53 point something percent of what you report as having been collected. So I think this is a matter that perhaps needs to be looked into further, because we focused more on the law, but not on the numbers. These numbers must be looked at. Now, Governor, is there a disbursement schedule for the facilities so that facilities know that on a monthly basis they're going to get their money back? Because I think coming from Homa Bay, there could be one or two facilities that have not gotten their disbursements since perhaps late last year. Is there a disbursement schedule, or the disbursements are done as monies are received from SHA?
Thank you, Chairman. In the earlier times of the process, there were delays here and there, but that was tightened. So, if you send your money to the SPA, it should not be more than 4 days before you receive it back to the facility. And I want the finance chief officer who does that to just confirm whether there could be monies that can take more than a week in the SPA.
Yeah, and you might also want to confirm whether Ndiwa, Ndiru, Magunga, Rachonyo East, and Suba Sub-County have got some outstanding disbursements, as you explained that.
Thank you, Chair. The refunds to facilities, we do them as fast as within the day, but not longer than within the week. And that is how the SPA that is locally operated has really been useful for us to ensure that that is done. Unless a facility has not met any condition required, for example, bringing a certified statement showing what they received, which also rarely happens. So I can confirm that it doesn't go beyond a week, but it goes as fast as within a day we send back to the money back to the facility.
Is there any reported challenge in some of those facilities that I mentioned? In terms of delays in reimbursement? Ndiwa, Ndiru, Magunga, Rachonyo East, Suba Sub-County Hospital.
Chair, that is reimbursement from SHA, not from the SPA. National SHA office is what national SHA office is what is has a challenge, not from the local operations.
Okay, so on that, because when we went to Busia, I think we went to the general hospital, and the doctors there gave us certain challenges that they're facing with SHA. What would be the challenge in Homa Bay, so that even when you're engaging with the CS for health, it is something we can bring up, that Homa Bay was before us, and several facilities have not been reimbursed for many months. Because every time Duale comes, he says everything is working well. There's no problem with SHA.
Chairman, I can say overally, SHA has been reimbursing the facilities, but there are specific facilities in Homa Bay, public facilities that had challenges with SHA itself. And when the AI system that SHA has picks any anomaly with the facility, they stop. And then you clarify, and then they reopen. So this is what happened to some of the facilities that you've mentioned. Was Magunga one of them? Yes. Yeah, and Magunga. But a number of them, I want to ask you, Grace, the CC Health, to just confirm which of these facilities have been cleared by SHA and which one is still left that we are still pursuing.
Thank you, Honourable Chair and members. The facilities that have since been cleared are Rachonyo South and Rachonyo East. We still have a problem with Newa, with Marindi, with the Suba sub-county. Magunga is one of them, Ndiru, and Nyalgosi. Thank you.
And is it a workflow problem or there is a more fundamental problem? I remember when the president was in Homa Bay, there were comments that were made which left us with egg on our face. I think with regards to, must have been Rachwanyo, one of those hospitals where it was said that we are cooking up claims, which I don't think is the nature of our people. So are the challenges just workflow issues, or there are material things that this Senate can take up with the CS in charge of health?
Thank you, Honorable Chair, members. A good number of the challenges relate to contractual provisions, and I think our team is doing a very good job of providing information that is needed as required. Some of it is just that SHA has been overwhelmed by requests and
Thank you very
things that they have
much,
to look at the different facilities. So some of it relates to speed on the SHA side, some of it relates to contractual issues, and some of it also just changing policies. SHA has been changing policies very, very frequently, and it has taken our team some time to master that.
Okay, honourable members, I know we have gotten now into broader policy conversations. We'll need to come back to the numbers. Senator Marume.
Specifically, Chair, for this query, the action taken by the management is that the management disbursed the funds to the respective level 4 and level 5 hospitals. I'm imagining it is the 183 million that was retained. And then you have the process of harmonizing the two laws has started. That is, they're amending the law. I don't know if that is adequate to mitigate on the query, but also we need to know what is happening now. Are you still retaining the funds, or now what is happening?
I think on the first part of the question, if we cannot agree on the 1.6 billion, then we cannot have a resolution. So we need, the auditor will have to assure us whether that 1.6 billion is collected or accrued. I think that's a starting point, because if the 1.6 billion is collected, then we have a much bigger problem of retention or drawing on funds at source. So there's no way we can solve this matter until we establish the basis. Governor?
Chairman, I wanted to agree with you that because our responses focused on the money that came to the SPA, if we could have an opportunity to look at the schedule from the auditor on the 1.6 so that we know exactly what animal we are handling. So, Chairman, I wanted to agree with you that we will retreat and get the 1.6, whether it's accrued or whether it is actual. Then we handle it from there. And we will also be appearing before the PIC on the same with the entities.
Yeah, so since this is in the report that is before us, we cannot toss it to another committee. Auditor General, as we do our report, you will provide us with a schedule that provides evidence of the collections. And if there's that gap of 700 million, we'll put the governor to task on it. We could proceed to long outstanding trade and other payables. Even though, maybe for the benefit of everyone in the committee, so for these facilities where there have been those technical challenges with SHA, when a citizen comes to the hospital and there's no medication, how do you deal with that? Or is there a stopgap funding measure? Because if SHA fails, then it is a county government that has failed. You know, you are the face of service delivery.
Chairman, it's a discussion we have had with SHA, including with the minister, that for public facilities, if there is a challenge, should the SHA be stopped, or should SHA continue to serve the public as we'd handle any any issues on the background. And the idea should be that SHA should continue as you handle the issues on the background. But right now, we have had to support those facilities from our exchequer side to be able to handle, and the public is not able to access SHA. But we are working round the clock to ensure that SHA is restored, and I'm happy that some of the facilities that were off, like Rachonyo South, Rachonyo East, they are now restored, and we are sure that within the month or so we should be able to restore the other facilities.
Okay. Senator Sifuna?
Yeah, Chair.
As we move to the trade debtors.
My hearing the county governor to be saying that the people of Homa Bay who've been going to this hospital or facilities have not been charged money that she has paid or the county government has paid for that. Because I remember recently we were told that there was an outage in that SHA system, and at least in Nairobi our experience was totally different. People were being turned away from facilities. Governor, are you saying you are the ones who have been paying for those people in those hospitals where the SHAs had issues?
No. I think, Senator, my point was, because the facilities, especially at level 4, rely a lot on the FIF, without an active SHA program, they need to pay certain basic issues, including commodities and so on, which we have supported them to support electricity and the other utilities for those facilities.
There's still out-of-pocket payments at your facilities because of this problem?
Yes. Because of this problem, there's still out-of-pocket payment, particularly in the facilities that are facing this particular problem. The 4 out of the 234 facilities, I think we have 4 of them now facing this SHA problem.
I think, Chair, if I got you correctly, what you're raising is if a facility has been blocked by SHA, yes. I'm a citizen of Homa Bay. I have the SHA card. I will not get medical attention in that facility. I think that's the question Chair is asking. Then what happens to those innocent citizens of Homa Bay? They have SHA. The facility that is run by the county has been blocked from SHA. So how do they access health services, if that is the situation?
Maybe in addition...
Okay, Senator Cherarke.
Access services, they have to pay out of pocket, or because the challenges facing those facilities. Are these the same facilities that the CS told us they were facing issues of fraud? And then number 2, do you as a county have indigent support to citizens who don't have the ability to pay for the medical services? Thank you, Chair.
And for the record, Senator Cherarke is the biggest defender of SHA in this committee. So we'll be...
Chair, I'm the biggest defender of government. I'm the biggest defender of broad-based. And I'm the biggest defender of anything that government for the better of Kenya.
Okay, that's extraneous.
And your governor also is the biggest defender of broad-based.
So let's come back. Let's come back to the audit. Governor,
so she did follow that you should be the biggest defender of mine. Oh no, just. I think on the issue of these specific facilities, the discussion we have had, you can find that a facility has a case that can be said to be fraud, for example. Maybe it is a case of not adjusting quick enough to the policies. Maybe it is a question of people shared beds, so you claimed for 30 instead of 20 beds, which you're registered to have. So those kinds of issues are the ones that are resulting in the blocking of facilities. SHA generally, if I would say, Chair, reimburses facilities and is a big improvement from the previous system that we had. That I can say.
But the concern is this innocent Kenyan who has SHA,
and that is,
but comes to a public health facility. But because of the mistake of that health facility, he or she is not able to access service using the SHA card. Yep. What do we do?
I'm in total agreement with you, Senator Okongo, because, and this is the discussion we have had with the SHA and with the policy level, that if a facility has an issue, the issue should be dealt with while the public continues to access services. This is what we have raised, so that the punishment, when you block a facility, the punishment is not on the administrator. It is on the patient. So we have asked that the policy be changed so that if there is an issue with the facility, let the administration of the facility, who is the contract holder, because facilities sign direct contracts with SHA, to let them deal with that as the facility continues to offer services to the public, which is not the case at the moment.
Okay, Senator Sifuna, finally.
Just a clarification, Governor. We in the Senate and you in the Council of Governors actually on the same side. I actually view these conversations here as you appearing at one of those facilities you're talking to, because we're supposed to fight these causes together. What we say out there, whether you are the biggest supporter of whatever, is something else. But we shouldn't be hearing any complaints when it comes to service delivery in hospitals if SHA is working. How much money does SHA owe Homa Bay County or 24 facilities in reimbursements?
I want to ask my health team to just work that out and share.
And also just confirm to us what is, my chair calls it an aging analysis. Because when people go around saying this thing is working, and yet maybe Homa Bay is prioritized in terms of payments, but in Nairobi, SHA owes our hospitals a lot of money, and they are suffering. Those, maybe we should start being like Cherargei, and then our hospitals will be given money. But we want to confirm.
But Chair,
He has called himself the biggest defender of something.
Of course, yes, of SHA.
So the CEC there should just confirm to me if because Homa Bay is one of those counties,
that cannot be an algorithm.
That's what I want to know. That's why I want to know.
Governor, that's a political question you can ignore.
No.
Order, Senator Cherargei.
Unless Senator Sifuna, through with your indulgence, Chair, gives us a system that works 100% anywhere in the world.
Chair,
every system has
Honorable Senators, we are the ones who wrote the 4 laws when we're in Turkana. So if it is not working well, it is our responsibility.
You can't.
It is our responsibility
you can't take that responsibility.
Revisit them.
The argument is if an entity has been blocked because of fraud, if it is blocked, I agree with the argument that the innocent Kenyans must serve. But you also protect the resources that belongs to the people.
No, that's okay. Let's allow Senator Sifuna to finish.
I don't think when we write laws, we take on the responsibility of implementation, because what we were promised by the current administration is universal free health care. So even one person going to a facility and not being able to receive medication is a matter of concern for us as a leadership. Chair, the question of fraud is just one. But for instance, Chair, if you take into account the recent collapse of that system of SHA, that is not a question of fraud. And bearing in mind, Senator Cherargei, how much money the Kenyan taxpayer paid for that system. I am not saying, Chair, that we expect 100%, but we are saying a system that expensive cannot be out of service for 4 days. There's loss of lives in the country when things like those happen. That is nothing to do with fraud. So we are within our rights. We are within our rights to insist that because of the amount of money that we paid for that system, my healthcare contributions, Chair, when I was elected here, I think they went down, they went up almost 30 times. I pay over 30,000 these days, and we used to pay NHIF a fraction of that. And the way that program was sold to us is because, Sifuna, you are well-to-do, you are earning $1 million shillings a month. Let's contribute so that the other people who are unable to or don't have an income, the people in the villages in Karachuonyo can be able to do what? Access healthcare. That is the reason why we supported the system. Now, if it doesn't work, if there is even just one person in Karachuonyo who is not receiving healthcare because the system is down, 100 and something billion Kenyan shilling system, Honorable Chair. So it's not to say that these questions are political, but healthcare is political.
No, I think the questions are proper. We had asked about the size of the debt. You have the figures? Maybe you could share?
Chairman, SHA owes us approximately 350 million to the facilities in Homa Bay. Chairman, on the other...
And how old is that debt? Is it a month, 2 months, a year?
They're just working on the aging. I just wanted to bring the amount. Chairman...
But even before you go there, Chair, if the Auditor General or the county entity itself is saying that in the entire financial year that is under review, they themselves told us 900 and something was collected in all the facilities, right? If SHA alone has 350 in debt to the hospitals in Homa Bay, that's almost a third of the collections for the facilities, you know? So when we bring out these things, don't make it look like it is political. But if you have come to the doctor and you give me the wrong, what is it called? The wrong symptoms, Governor. If you give me the wrong symptoms, I will not apply the right injection, and you know how we do it. We want you to be paid the 350 million.
I think you are starting, your preamble is what should carry the rest of the conversation, that we are on the same side. When we ask these questions, it's to get a solution. And when we find that 300 million is owed to Homa Bay, out of a potential collection of 1.6 billion or 900 million, it is significant. And it is in these sessions that we find legislative interventions or just interventions we can call the CS for health. But it shows that there's a problem if you don't have 300 million reimbursed on time.
Chairman, maybe I can just say this also, because in our language, something is said that the tail of a ship is compared with the other. If we compare the level of reimbursements, the amount in terms of reimbursements that SHA is giving to facilities in comparison to what NHIF was giving, SHA is much more enhanced. If we compare the timeliness in payment, SHA is prompter than what NHIF was. I'm just noting that in comparison. Of course, there's no perfect system.
The promptness will determine once we get the aging analysis of the debt.
Yes, Chair, let me just make a point, a simple but important point. You know, Governor, you and I, and every Kenyan worker is not in arrears in their contributions to SHA. None of us is in arrears. There can never be an explanation why SHA really should hold, that's just one county, 350 million Kenya shillings. And you know what, Chairman and Governor and all of us, you know, we can choose to compare NHIF and SHA or whatever it is that we want to do. But you see, Governor, if SHA was working in Homa Bay or in Kitui, the first person that would know that SHA is working is a patient visiting a facility. We don't need to tell them that it's working. I mean, if it's working, it's working. If it's not working, it's not working. And we are talking about a situation, and I don't want to go into those comparisons, where the Kenyan taxpayer has paid in excess of 100 billion Kenya shillings for a technology that is supposed to support SHA, a system that has been down for now almost a week or more. So let's not even go there. But if it's working, then Kenyan people will know it's working. We don't need to tell them that it's working. And for the amount of money that we have spent for that system, honestly, the uptime should be more than 97%, if you ask me, for the cost.
I know this is, these members here are seized of this matter on the floor. CS Duale comes regularly. What we must demand of Governor Wanga is to account for the 1.6 billion reported as collected. That's what we must demand from Governor Wanga, that money must go back to facilities. What we must demand from CS Duale is why 350 million
remains undisbursed to the facilities. So I think let's separate it. Let's not attempt to over-explain the national government's role because this is a county government that is distinct. I think that's where we are falling into a trap. Governor, you got the aging, or it's something that can be provided later?
I think they're working on it, and we will be able to present it.
So we are clear on this particular matter that the first thing we must confirm is 1.6. And in terms of amendment of the laws, county laws, I think it would best serve governors to perhaps caucus and have one standard amendment for the county laws or the national legislation. In fact, amending one law is faster than amending 47 sets of laws, but we shall leave that to you. Let's move to trade payables, long outstanding trade and other payables. Auditor General.
Thank you, Chair. Long outstanding trade and other payables. The statement of the financial position, and as disclosed in Note 20 to the financial statement, reflect a trade and other payables balance of Kenya shilling 1,504,513,380, which includes a payable totaling to Kenya shilling 1,091,975,059 that had been outstanding for 1 year, contrary to Section 14.2 of the Public Finance Management County Government Regulation 2015, which said that the debt service payment shall be the first charge in the county revenue fund, and the accounting officer shall ensure that this is done to the extent that possible, that the county government does not default on the debt obligations. In addition, although the management has provided a payment plan showing the order of the priority they intend to use to clear the debts, the plan does not indicate when the payables will be settled. In the circumstances, management was in breach of the law. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, your response?
Thank you, Chair. Management has noted the auditor's observation and wishes to clarify that it is committed to settling pending bills in accordance with the Pending Bills Action Plan for financial year 25-26. Out of the 1,524,513,380 outstanding bills as of 30th June 2025, Kenya shilling 713,199,834 has so far been settled, leaving a balance of Kenya shillings 811,313,545. Management is implementing the approved payment plan and has prioritized the settlement of eligible and verified pending bills, subject to availability of funds in line with the PFM County Government Regulations 2015. The payment plan outlines the order of priority and timelines for settlement, and the management intends to settle the pending bills by the end of financial year 2026-2027. Appendix 8A, Pending Bills Progression Summary. 8B, Pending Bills Action Plan for 2025-2026. 8B, another one, Current Status of Pending Bills.
Governor, with the progress that you have presented there, how does that change? For example, if you look at your Note 20, that you had 148 million outstanding over 3 years. When you look at pending bills as a first charge, with your payment plan, to what extent have those figures changed? Because, I mean, you would have pending bills under 1 year as you wait for your disbursements, maybe 1 to 2 years as you wait for projects to complete. But over 3 years is indicative of a problem. You reported 148 million as bills exceeding 3 years. Is there a specific plan to deal with debt over 3 years?
Chair, can I add?
Or let's allow Senator Cherargei also to
Governor,
this question.
I've seen your response on this matter of pending bill, and I've noticed over 92% of the pending bill of 1.5 billion was accrued by your administration, over 92%. The 8% is historical. Question 1, can you segregate and give us the reason in detail. That is question 1 after what the chair has asked. And number 3, in this 92% of pending bill, are there pending bills that are tied to multi-year projects that the county is undertaking? And how much are we looking at? And finally, Chair, since I know we don't want to interrogate the chair of County Public Accounts of Homa Bay, in the budget allocation, how much has it been in this financial year, and the CCM or Bureau is here, has been allocated to offset the pending bill? Because looking at the aging analysis, it doesn't add up considering the budget. And finally, Chair, just finally, sorry for taking long, Governor, you have indicated that there were eligible pending bills. In your answer, because I'm just reading your answer, Chair, if you have noticed, the Governor is talking as settling pending bills action and also on, and has prioritized the settlement of eligible and verified pending bills. So what is the basis of this? Is it the controller of budget that did verification, or yourself? And is there a report? When you say eligible and verifiable, how much are you talking about? And ineligible, could it be connected to historical pending bill, which you have, which is related to 811 billion? So because it says eligibility and verifiable, so which ones are eligible? So that maybe he has lumped up everything. Okay. Chair, I yield back.
Fine. Maybe, Governor, just take note so that we take all the questions, we'll be able to move fast. Senator Sifuna.
Chair and Governor, I'm looking at the development expenditure pending bills as at 31st May 2026, which I think is your Annex 8C. Are we together? There is a document called Homa Bay County Development Expenditure Pending Bills as at 31st May 2026, which would indicate that it is a current status, Honorable Chair.
Is that 8C or 8A?
I think I have found it at 8C.
Yeah, it's
8C.
Yes. So there will just be like 3 items that maybe you can address as one. I was picking out the high ticket issues. There is a pending bill of 24 million for construction of Homa Bay County Stadium. Is this the one that was renamed Raila Odinga Stadium? Yeah, so I thought that national government had told us that once the intervention was there, it's number 4 on that list. So just address us why there is still a pending bill of 24 million shillings for the stadium. Secondly, Honorable Chair, at number 9 there is an amount of 348,954,000. That is a pending bill for construction of 2-door pit latrine at Ngeri Beach in Kaksingri West Ward at number 9. Chair, if the pending bill is 348,954 on a construction of a 2-door pit latrine, what was the cost of this project, Honorable Chair? And does it make sense that latrines are that expensive to build in Homa Bay? That is item number 9 on that list. Number 9, are we there? And finally, Chair.
Oh yeah, there seems to be, I was struggling to follow, but I've seen it now. Because that's the number 9 on the second document.
Yes, Chair.
Because there are 2 documents. Okay, I'm with you now.
Yes, there's the one that is titled Development Expenditure Pending Bills as at 31st May 2026.
It comes after the summary of pending bills.
Yes.
Okay.
So the number 9 one, Governor, you'll explain to us why it's so expensive building toilets there. And then finally, there is the 3.588 million at number 19. This is the construction of main block at Gingo Health Center in Suba South, Kaksingri West Ward. Just tell us the status of that project, whether it was complete or whether it is not. That's all, Chair.
Yeah, can I add on Senator Sifuna on number
okay.
28 and 29? This one proposed completion of Governor's new office block of 7.9 million. I thought the office block was completed, and finally, number 29, Governor, you are proposing as construction of a gazebo at the new Governor's office of 2.8. And we know what gazebo is. Is it too cold in Homa Bay? You needed somewhere to light fire with wazee.
Okay, so
Wajami.
Yeah, since you are having the second bite, make it brief. That's it. Governor.
Thank you, Chairman. I will pick some, and I will also ask the CC Finance to answer others. So, starting with the question asked by Senator Cherargei on the office block, I think it's the titling. This was the Governor's office block which we moved to, which was the health building. So we completed it, stayed there as they were building the county headquarters, and it was taken over by the health department because it was always the meant to be the health building. The gazebo is a structure outside where you can meet with your workers, the healthcare workers, and the others. Instead of having tents, it's a capacity of about 300 people. I think, Senator, you may have seen it.
I haven't seen it. I've never been to Homa Bay.
No,
the area, Senator, you should be specific.
There are more
Chair and Senator of Homa Bay may have seen it.
Oh yeah, be specific because there are many senators here.
So,
okay.
And then coming to the question of Senator Sifuna on the two-door pit latrine, the standard amount for the two-door pit latrines is about 500,000 shillings. That's the cost of pitting it and building it. It's usually about 500,000 shillings. The cost is there about, and so.
So, Governor, for instance, if there's a pending bill of 486,359, like at number 65 there,
yeah,
it means you paid the contractor an initial amount of 20K.
So maybe Raila Odinga Stadium in Homa Bay. The phase 1 of this stadium was completed by the county government of Homa Bay and opened in July of 2023. Any obligations under that phase 1 are under the county government of Homa Bay. The national government then came in to do the terraces around the stadium because the first phase only had the main pavilion but did not have the terraces around the stadium. So the national government picked up the terracing, and that could be the confusion. But what we owe, the county government owes to the contractors who did the first phase of the stadium.
Now, if you look at just 1 minute.
Sorry?
Order, members.
Yeah.
Is it on the same point?
On the same one, Chair. My concern is that the invoice date, if you look at the column on supplier or contractor invoice date, is indicated as 2019. Governor, we are in 2026.
Yeah,
that is over 7 years later. Is this amount payable, or is one of those that you've decided you're not going to pay?
No, the construction of the stadium took a bit of time, and we found when it had progressed, and then we picked it from there. We have made quite a bit of payments to the contractor, and we are at the very tail end of finalizing any pending bills around that stadium.
I think you'll need to tie it with the earlier question on how you are treating the debt over 3 years.
Correct.
Because your records indicate 148 million was 3 years older.
Okay.
Yeah. And I hope that you're going to give us that analysis, or your officers are going to give us that analysis.
Yes, I'm going to hand that question over to them. But before I hand it over, I'll go to the question that Senator Cherargei asked around the eligibility of the pending bills. I think, Chairman, when we last appeared, we had indicated that we had formed a pending bills verification committee, and it finalized its work and presented a report. Thank you.
So it means that the numbers that you reported of 1.52, those ones are legible. And those ones are, you have made a commitment to pay
them, yes.
Okay.
So, Chair, how much was ineligible? And are there any challenges to that declaration? Because somebody cannot raise a pending bill. So out of this 1.5 that is legible, it would be better for people of Homa Bay to know that how much are ineligible.
Okay.
And what is the outcome of such process, so that, Chair, the county does not have legal suits or being taken to court.
Yeah, I think, Chairman, I will ask for the exact figure to be presented. But we had a very open process, and when we finished the process, we called the contractors who had put in the bills. We gave them the report. We opened for appeal. The team went round, so it was a very open process, and we took a very, very competent set of teams. And when we came here, you also told us to take it again to the internal auditor because of the case in Kakamega. The internal auditor to again verify it, which the internal audit team did. So we had a very elaborate process around. The question is the payment of the bills more than actually the eligibility of it. I think there's general satisfaction around eligibility, even from the contractors. The bigger question is, can you pay us quicker? And that is the question the chair was asking around the bills that are more than 3 years old. So I want to ask the CC Finance.
Okay, CC.
To take up.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Chair, in the current budget, the total value for pending bills is at 480 million. Senator sought that in trying to clear.
That's a budget.
Yeah,
that's a budget provision.
Yeah, that's the budgetary provision that we have now. Chair, if we go to Appendix 8A, it gives us now historically where we are coming from, and also the financial years that are affected for both recurrent and development. When we got into office in 2022, Chair, both historical pending bills and current then stood at 1.9 billion, of which during the assumption of office, what was handed over was about 740 million, but the bulk of it then came through the pending bills verification task force, which was way over 2 billion, around 2.21, but what was then considered eligible as total to 1.9. Chair, in the financial year then 2023-2024, that figure was reduced substantially to 1.192 billion. Then now in the year 2024-2025, there are those that were verified by the pending bills task force, but they said due to time constraints, we had to use our internal audit department to further confirm and liaise with the Office of the Auditor General to confirm that those are also eligible, because they didn't visit the actual sites of where these works were done. So that figure then made a jump when we went to the financial year 2024-2025 that took us to the 1.5 billion that is in question today. However, Chair, as at 31st of May 2026, the county government has made substantial progress on our pending bills and has reduced it to the current figure of 811,313, which we are further making attempt to reduce by allocating 480 million.
So in that 700 million reduction, because you have reduced it by 700 million from 1.5 to 811.
Yes, Chair.
How much of that debt is still older than 3 years?
Chair.
The reason I keep asking this is, you see, 3-4 years ago, there was a different government. And you don't want to create an impression that bills from the old government are not being paid. Because as you have explained, whatever you have here is verified. And as we also said when you're here, that the Senate has got no power to tell you pay this bill and not that other one. It's your internal processes. So out of this 148 million that you had reported as older than 3 years, you have paid 700 million since the last audit. How much has that figure moved over 3 years?
Chair, we gave priority to historical pending bills, and there are just a few historical pending bills that are outstanding, Chair, in my estimation, but I will be able to provide the data.
Can you provide
from my team.
A ballpark figure? Just to get
about 55 million of the historical pending bills could be outstanding now. Reason?
It's better to get the actual figure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chairman, allow us to get the actual.
The actual. Yeah. And as you get that, I wanted to find out how much of that relates to statutory contributions, gratuities, staff payables. Do you have any such outstanding?
Yeah, Chair, we'll be able to provide the data shortly as the meeting progresses.
Senator Sifuna?
No, Chair, the amount of pride I have seen Homa Bay taking in this stadium and the fact that it is named after my former boss, I think it's very unfair to have a pending bill from 2019, which essentially, Governor, would be attributable to phase 1 of that stadium, right? So I'm hoping that in the budget, what you have set aside, when next you appear here, we will not have pending bills. I don't want that contractor to be crying in Raila's name.
It does not even have to be. It does not even have to be the next meeting, yes. Because the officer said he's getting the exact details of the 55 million.
Yes.
Yeah. So once he gets that, we can be clear and give specific directions.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it is part of that 700 million.
Chair, maybe, Governor, we were in that stadium during the Revolution Conference. So you say terraces was done as canopy also being done for the entire stadium or only at the pavilion?
Sorry. So I take note of Senator Sifuna's point that nobody should be crying in Baba's name. So we have made quite a bit of progress in paying the contractor in question. So I think maybe that earlier invoice should have been, I'm sure we've paid him a lot more even after the 2019 invoice. But coming back to...
Can you just maybe, do you already have the data that you're saying you're analyzing?
No,
because you are saying you have reduced it to 55 million.
No,
so,
what we said...
So maybe you might find it has been knocked off.
Let us work out the actual figure and give it to you. Because you said how much of the 701 has reduced the earlier bills.
The 3-year-old?
Yeah.
And how much of it relates to staff gratuities, staff payables, and statutory deductions?
Deductions, exactly. So I think that is what we must provide, which is coming. But I wanted to answer Senator Cheragay's question. The first phase was the main pavilion, the VIP pavilion. The second phase was the terraces and the canopies of the rest of the stadium. It was first 2,000 seater, now it's 12,000 seater. Thank you, Chair.
So is it now fully done?
It's fully done, complete, beautiful, in Raila's name.
Beautiful. I wanted Sifuna to get that. I know it's been long for him to be normal. Thank you.
Order, Senator Maruma. Senator Maruma.
Sorry, Chair. Just one small issue about the task force report. Did you have room for appeals? Have we dealt with them? Because then if we are comfortable that we are moving well, yeah, appeals to court to the courts, then these bills, there could be others that are coming. So about approximately how much would we be expecting maybe to come back to these pending bills, or there was no room for appeal?
Chairman, as I said earlier, when the committee presented its report, we subjected it to the associations and everybody, contractors associations and everybody who had sent in their documents. And we asked them to appeal, and they appealed, and the appeal process was finalized. Then we took again the report to the internal audit process, because this was an external task force and the court had ruled on that issue. And the committee advised that the internal audit suffices. So we took it again to the internal audit. So it has been a thorough process.
Just as a, by the way, Chair, you know that almost always I spent the New Year's festivities with my family in Homa Bay because it's one of the most beautiful places in Kenya. So last I was there was in December. There was an issue on the road just outside that stadium. I thought I saw some blocks of what is it, concrete, in the middle of the road. What was the issue there, Governor, and has it been cleared? But the road outside is still under construction.
Thank you, Senator, for loving Homa Bay and for always coming there. And we welcome you any and every other time. Actually, next time you'll be going to Sindo, I think it will be tarmac now.
I'm going to Sindo now. after what I went through last year, my children wailing for hours on the road.
No, I got him a boat and he was too scared to take the boat.
The speedboat was crazy, Chair. So I go someplace else.
Yeah.
But the road, I think, is a good thing that's happening there, which is the dualing of that main road of that passes through Homa Bay. So the concrete was to make the middle of the median of the dual carriage. So it is very good progress for Homa Bay.
I think in December it was work in progress. It's still moving. It's just that we won't find it in her books because it's being done by which agency?
Kenha, Chairman.
By Kenha. So we'll find it in the accounts of Kenha. If you have do you have the breakdown for the 3-year-old? Now, I must also put on record that as a senator from Homa Bay, I've received several petitions from service providers over delays in payment of pending bills. But I believe that we need to have a more substantive inquiry through a petition addressed to the Finance Committee, because it will be difficult to handle it through this accounting process. The accounting process, we are limited to what the Auditor General has raised. So I will advise them to do so. But as we said last time, there must be finality to the exercise. You cannot verify forever. And no senator can help you verify your pending bills. Those are your liabilities. It is upon you to identify the ones that are payable, the ones that are legible. And it's not even the Auditor General who can tell you. It's your own mechanisms. So that must be the position, that once they are verified, they need to be paid. And if they are found to be non-existent, then, as we have said, the additional spicing on it would have been to forward the files to EACC or DCI, because that's a criminal offense. Now, we can proceed to another matter as we wait for those numbers. The time will not allow us to deal with everything that is in this report, but as we were going through our briefs, one of the other big projects that Homa Bay County has done is an 800 million county headquarters. I think, Auditor General, you can take us through the issues that were raised there.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. It's 8.4. Delayed completion of the Homa Bay County Government Headquarters and auxiliary facilities. The settlement of financial position, and as disclosed in Note 19 to the financial statements, reflect the rights of the use of assets of the carrying balance of Kenya shillings 787,200,000, which represent the cost of acquiring the county headquarters over 4 years period. The county government entered into tenant purchase agreement, a finance lease to own contract with the county pension fund for the purpose of the build development of the Homa Bay County Government Headquarters and auxiliary facilities on 6th May 2024 for a contract sum of Kenya shilling 820 million. The money was to be paid over 4 years period. The construction was to take 6 months, and the county government was to occupy the completed building by January 2025. The completion date was subsequently revised to 2nd May 2025. A review of the records related to the project revealed that the county executive paid Kenya shilling 141,142,672 to the county pension fund in the year under review. The total amount that had been paid was Kenya shilling 181,142,676. Although the county executive obtained approval from the Control of Budget in July 2024 to open and operate a special purpose account for the Homa Bay County Infrastructure Financing Fund at the Central Bank of Kenya, the county government was yet to establish the fund and open the special purpose account in accordance with the Homa Bay County Infrastructure Financing Fund Act 2023, which were the requirement in the tenant purchase agreement.